All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Brian Juster, co-founder here at Occupy Fantasy, single game $1 million winner, and we're here with some NFL DFS picks and lineup advice for FanDuel and DraftKings for tonight's Thursday Night Football single game showdown slate between the Panthers and the Texans. In this video, it'll be about 10 minutes long. We're going to discuss the injury news for tonight's game, talk about lineup construction tips for both FanDuel and DraftKings low-risk contests, as well as high-risk contests, and a little bit of game theory to help you get to the top of your contest leaderboards. So before we get started, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Get notified whenever we go live or upload any new videos. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. That helps us out. We appreciate it. If you have any questions about tonight's slate, go ahead and hop in the comments below or join our Discord server, which you can do by clicking the join button below the video, to talk to other Occupy Fantasy members and Occupy Fantasy staff. So let's get into it. So tonight, Panthers and the Texans. Panthers are 8-point road favorites, and the Texans are dealing with some injuries. Quarterback Tyrod Taylor, as you see here, has been placed on injured reserve with a hamstring injury. Rookie Davis Mills will draw the start. If you look, Davis Mills, 8 of 18 in relief last week after Tyrod Taylor left around halftime. Mills was the worst quarterback in the league last week in completion percentage over expectation, which basically looks at how many passes a quarterback should complete versus how many they actually do complete. It was very poor. Now he gets a couple days of practice to go against the best defense in the league. No big deal. And then they have some injuries at receiver as well. As if we keep scrolling, Danny Amendola, who caught a touchdown last week, he is out. Rookie Nico Collins, he is out. He's been playing as their wide receiver too. As a result, Chris Conley, let's keep scrolling. Oh, let's not scroll as much. Chris Conley, 2,400 as the captain, $1,600 in the flex. He'll be the wide receiver too tonight, playing mostly outside. And then Anthony Miller will play the slot instead of Amendola. And Miller came over in a trade from the Bears in the offseason. He's very cheap as well at 1K. Miller has not played yet this year. He's expected back from his injury tonight. So Carolina not dealing with many injuries themselves, just a couple on the defensive side of the ball, but they're mostly good at the skill position players. So if we start with low risk contests, 50-50s, double ups, head to heads contests where you just need to beat half the field to double your money. As you know, we talk about this every week in this video. If you read our showdown guide, which is linked below, the goal of low risk contest and showdown is to try to capture all of the scoring. That way, if all the touchdowns are scored or in your lineup, there's a very good chance that you're going to be in the top half of your contest. So how you do that is by playing both quarterbacks and both running backs. Problem tonight, obviously, is McCaffrey is incredibly expensive, $13,400. If you tried to put him at the captain spot, it's 20K. Just 40% of your cap at the captain spot. Pretty crazy. But McCaffrey, Sam Darnold, quarterback for Carolina. Davis Mills, we do get a little bit of salary savings because he's a rookie and also terrible at 8,400. And then they have a three-headed backfield in Houston. Mark Ingram has led the team in snaps. He's also led the team in goal line and red zone rushes, and it hasn't been particularly close. So if we're banking on a Houston running back to score, it's likely going to be Mark Ingram. He is 6,600. The other two running backs, David Johnson and Philip Lindsay. David Johnson is more the pass receiving back. Philip Lindsay has played the third most snaps of the group, and he's just that complementary change of pace back. So if you were to get a running back that's likely to score a touchdown and get the most opportunities, it is Ingram tonight. However, this leaves us with just 1850 left per player. So there's two options tonight. You could either go this route and play some of those Houston value plays that we talked about, or, and I think this may be the better route, is again, the Panthers are 8-point favorites. They're generating pressure on a league high and just an incredible number, 52% of teams opposing dropbacks. Absolute ridiculous number, 52%. So in this spot, and the Panthers will be relatively popular, you could play the Panthers defense at captain. Remember, the game total is only 42, 43 points, so not expected to be a lot of scoring. This gives you 8140 left per player. Now you can start jamming in the quarterbacks and running backs, and that leaves you with one other player left to fill in. I think that's probably the preferred approach on DraftKings tonight for low-risk contests exclusively. All right, let's go over to FanDuel. As we know, it's generally difficult on FanDuel to make this happen. So McCaffrey, Darnold, Davis Mills. Now, Mark Ingram, if we tried to play him 11K, that's his $4,500 left per player. Surprise. It's really difficult to get these four guys on FanDuel as it normally is. So because Mark Ingram is splitting work, he's probably the guy you want to leave out of this lineup, right? Because of the half-point PPR scoring. Davis Mills, even if he truly sucks, can get 8 to 10 points, which is higher than Mark Ingram's median expectation on most nights. So if you keep Davis Mills in, that's 77.50 left per player. Now you can play kickers, value plays. This is probably the preferred route on FanDuel. Now, the interesting conversation comes in high risk contests, small field GPPs, large field GPPs, satellites. A lot of different ways you can go. And the big question you have to ask is, because Christian McCaffrey, we expect him to be upwards of 30% at the captain spot on DraftKings, 50% on FanDuel, just incredibly popular. I mean, these are Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes type numbers that we normally see, more so Lamar Jackson. So if you play McCaffrey, how do you get different enough in these smaller contests? And the way we're thinking about it is a couple ways, right? One, you play some low-owned players, players that we don't expect to be very popular. That includes the Houston running backs, right? There's a three-headed attack. Most people won't be playing them that often. I think the Houston receivers we talked about will be relatively popular in Chris Conley and Anthony Miller. Playing two of them together is not something most people will do. That will allow you to fill in some higher price flex plays around them. You could leave salary, especially in larger contests. That's always a great way to get different. Or, if you truly don't care about many things in life, you could play Houston heavy lineups tonight. So what does that look like? That means Davis Mills, who we expect to be less than 5% at captain, as a quarterback, which is pretty crazy. Again, against the defense that's generated the most pressure in the league so far. If somehow they can protect him and he becomes a top scorer, and the fact is, because he's so cheap, he could end up optimal even if not scoring the most amount of points. And that's kind of what you're hoping for, because McCaffrey likely going to score 20 plus points. Very likely he's the top scorer overall. But because of DraftKings salaries and the salary multiplier, he could score the most points but not be the optimal captain because of the way the pricing works out. So Davis Mills could fit in even if McCaffrey scores the most points. In this scenario, you'd want to pair him with two of his receivers, not a big runner. Right? You could also go the receivers here. DJ Moore, solid target share. Robbie Anderson, decent target share. Brandon Cooks, legendary target share, getting like half the looks in this offense. He could easily be the top scorer. We do expect him to be the most popular Houston captain, but still 10% or less, so not incredibly popular. And the other way is, and this is more of a FanDuel strategy, so we'll move over there, is playing the passing game as opposed to Christian McCaffrey. So playing Sam Darnold at captain with two of his pass catchers. So if we go over to FanDuel, right? McCaffrey, again, same concepts over here. If you play McCaffrey at MVP, he's going to be 50%. 50% of lineups in your largest field, your small field contests are going to have McCaffrey at MVP, right? So you definitely have to leave salary, and or you have to play some lower owned plays at the bottom of the salary pool. And it's gross down there. There are like 12 tight ends you can play, wide receiver 4s and 5s, some backup running backs. I mean, it's really gross down here. Like, no one pops off the page as someone you truly want to play outside of those two Houston receivers we pinpointed. When we look at historical games to compare to try to get a sense of what the field is going to do, what optimal lineups can look like, one of the games we looked at was an historical Cleveland Browns New York Giants game where Colt McCoy was starting for the Giants, backup quarterback, very similar to the Houston situation tonight. In that game, Nick Chubb was incredibly popular. Pretty much McCaffrey type ownership levels. And in that game, despite Chubb doing pretty well, he didn't end up in the optimal FanDuel lineup. In fact, it was only a 6-way tie, which we've seen has been pretty rare lately for FanDuel GPPs. And the way they did that is playing through the passing game. If Carolina wins, and most of the production comes through the passing game, so you play Sam Darnold at MVP, and then you pair him with Robbie Anderson, Terrence Marshall, or some look like this that leaves you with 13 left per player, and not including McCaffrey at all. It's crazy, but it can happen. In fact, we saw it in the most recent similar game. So it's very difficult. It's a very difficult slate with a big favorite. I will say one thing, and I'll expand on this in the daily plug, which is linked in the description below. This is a big letdown spot for Carolina. We haven't seen the betting markets agree with that take just yet. We're going to monitor that throughout this afternoon. But again, off a big division win, they're 2-0. Now, short week on the road against an out-of-division rookie quarterback, bad team. It's a prototypical letdown spot. Will they actually let down? I don't know, because they have a great defense behind them. But again, it's just something to think about, and it's not completely out of the expectations that Carolina lays an egg in this game. Maybe they still win, but it's more competitive than the betting markets indicate just because of the situational factors. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so that'll do it for this video. Appreciate everyone listening. Make sure you subscribe to the channel once again to get notified about our videos. We're doing positional videos for the DraftKings and FanDuel main slate throughout the week. Our Tuesday night $1 Million Mission, where we review previous week's lineups. Saturday live Q&As. If you're in the UFC, we do our live videos on Friday nights. Lots to check out. Make sure you're subscribed. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know to continue to make more Showdown videos. That'll let us know, let YouTube know that we should continue doing these. And any questions, comment below, hop in the Discord channel. We'd love to have you in our Discord server to chat with us, staff, and other members. So for Brian Jester at Occupy Fantasy, appreciate you listening. Good luck tonight, and we will talk to you soon.